Welcome to the Arbutus software tutorial series. This tutorial will discuss how to use Arbutus LegacyLink to bring in table data created by Arbutus Analyzer into other applications. Arbutus LegacyLink is an ODBC driver that works with data created by Arbutus Analyzer. By default, the Arbutus LegacyLink driver is configured to point at the sample project folder that's created by default during the Arbutus Analyzer install. To change the project that Arbutus Analyzer points to, you can go to the ODBC Manager and click on Arbutus LegacyLink, followed by the Configure button. At this point, you can see we might want to change the information to a different project. The project file is denoted by having a .asi extension. For now, I'll continue along just using the sample data provided in the default install. Here's a table called Current Inventory, and what I'd like to do is take this data and send it to an Excel spreadsheet, for instance. If I do an export, by default what happens is the field names will be created on the first row in the Excel spreadsheet. This doesn't allow me to have nice formatting for reports for other folks to review. What we can do instead is we can go to Excel and we can create a report template with the field names set up the way that we want them and apply any kind of style that you'd like. And then we can go into Data, From Other Sources, and choose the MS Query option, because Microsoft interacts with ODBC using Microsoft Query, and Arbutus LegacyLink is an ODBC driver, so this is the choice we'll make. Again, the Arbutus LegacyLink driver is available. We'll click on OK, and as I mentioned, by default the Arbutus LegacyLink driver is pointing at a particular Arbutus project location, and it exposes all of the tables that are available in that project. The one we mentioned was Current Inventory, so I'll select that table and I'll just start to bring over the information. At this point we're using Microsoft Query. This has nothing to do with Arbutus at this point. I'll keep clicking Next. The last thing it asks us to do is to place the data in a particular place in the spreadsheet, so we'll just use A2 as the default location. You can see the data is imported using LegacyLink from the Analyzer project folder into the Excel spreadsheet. By default, the column headers are coming in, but we don't need those. This is what I was mentioning before. This is the default names of the columns, but we don't need those because we've already created our own column headers. So I'll just go to the Design tab and turn off the checkbox for header row, and then I can delete line 2. Okay, so I've got my data imported into Excel using my pre-existing column headers, and now what I'd like to do to make this really effective is to make this spreadsheet a refreshable spreadsheet. And to do that, I can go to the Data menu, select Connections, and we can check the properties of this query, and we can make it refreshable. We can refresh the data, and we can remove the old data each time we open up the spreadsheet. Click on OK, make that change. Unfortunately, that's made some changes to our column headers here, so I'll just go back in and just clean those up a little bit. And so now we've got that looking pretty much like we want. Oops, I'll get this one here. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to look at the properties. Again, we don't need to adjust the column width because we've already got our columns pre-established, and we do want to overwrite existing cells with new data when we bring in some new table data for this spreadsheet. I'll click on OK. Now I'll click on Save. Now this spreadsheet is ready to go in terms of the look, the presentation, and we've just also made it a refreshable spreadsheet so that every time the current inventory table gets updated, if the managers or the people who are looking at this report open up the report, it will automatically, dynamically refresh with the latest data. So let me just close this down and we'll just simulate this. I'll go to a backup copy I have here in Analyzer. I'll do an extract to a table called current inventory, and I'll extract only the first 10 records just as an example here. So current inventory now has only 10 records, and when I go back to my spreadsheet, just pull this up here, we just enable the options to let us get the data dynamically, click on OK, and there we have it. The data has automatically been updated based on the new table data created by the Analyzer script, or in this case, the interactive extract that I just did. So this makes it a very effective way in which people who do not use Analyzer have a means to get at the data created by those folks who do use Analyzer, and they can see the results or the reports in a application that they're more comfortable with, like Excel or Tableau or Crystal Reports or Yellowfin. For more information about Arbutus LegacyLink, please contact your local sales representative.